All right, so let's do this from scratch again. So we're going to add a new device. We'll start with the PLC. We are still stick with our PLCs we use in class, with which, if you don't remember, is the 1214C AC/DC Relay BG40. All right, as a quick reminder for you. And now we have to wait, of course, to let this thing load. All right, so we've got our PLC added. So now I'm going to create my tags. I'm going to do it the proper way this time instead of throwing them in. Start, stop, output. Remember, make sure you set your output right. And then HMI, start. Just a reminder, I like to start at like memory 3, M3.0 instead of doing M0.0, because that will keep you from having issues later down the line when if you add count the flashing clock stuff in and the memory byte, the system bytes, those things. So I just like to start at 3. I don't have any good reason why I picked 3. I mean, if you think about it, the clocks use 1, the system bytes use 1, so that's 0 and 1. So in theory, I could start at 2. I just go to 3 just to put a little buffer space in there just in case. So anyway, so I've got my all my circuits there. Now I'm going to go ahead and write my program. Down, another up. Go breaking over there. Start, stop. HMI stop. Output. HMI start. Output. There we go. All right, so that is the code that we were using. So just start, stops, all that fun stuff. Let me blow this up just a little bit easier for you guys who need it bigger. All right, so standard latching circuit. We just added a second start for the HMI and a second stop for the HMI. All right. Now, once you guys do get to the simulation point, what you can do is right-click on PLC 1 and just say Start Simulation. You have to do this the first time. And that will make a new window pop up, and it's going to, this little window will pop up somewhere on your computer screen. And once that gets started, this is like plugging your PLC in. It does take it a minute or so to get it all up and running. It will then walk you through the normal download process. As long as you don't exit out of this screen, you don't have to do start simulation every time. For the PLC, I'm going to be very specific about that. We don't have to do it for the PLC. For the HMI, that's a whole different game. All right. So anyway, our PLC, let me go ahead and exit out of our HMI. So as you can see, that is up and running. Here is our screen. All right, so those are kind of like your 2 important screens, I'm going to call them. This one shows you, I don't know why it's not showing me anything right now. Okay, let's try this again, because one was running, one wasn't. Or is this? That might have been my old one. There we go. It might show you, it's probably going to start you in the compact view. All right. So you have to, I click this button down here to get us to the bigger view. All right. And there was another view that we had that I don't remember how I got to, that actually show us everything. That keeps it on top. I don't remember how I got to the other point. There was another one, but anyway. So we got our PLC up and running. Now again, if we look at our devices and networks, we only have one device. So now we're going to do add a new device. We're going to do HMI, 7-inch, basic, and we're going to make sure you do that PN option. PN is saying Profinet, all right? DP is saying Profibus, DP. So you want Profinet or Profibus? Profibus is basically a serial modification. Profinet is Ethernet. We want the Ethernet one, so we're going to use PN. And we're going to say OK. Now that is adding the HMI just like we did. Now, if you just hit finish right off the bat, you're good to go. You can walk through this. You can select your PLC here. I'm purposely not going to, so I can try my whole drag the tag thing over thing again and see how that works. Maybe make myself look like a fool. But anyway, I can say next. We could change the resolution. Well, not we can't because ours is set, but you can put, do you want the date and time in the header, no header, you know. You can change alarms, which is that little screen that pops up. Here you can make more screens in the root screen if you want to. Or we'll just add a screen 0 for fun. Here we can see our system screens. Yep. Okay, so whether we want access to things. Then we have our buttons across the bottom. So here we have some more system buttons that we could drag and put places if we wanted to. And we'll just put them there for good measure. And we'll go ahead and hit finish. And now our HMI will get added. And again, I come up here. No network connection, no other connection. On the HMI itself, we're going to now create our tags. So we're going to go to our HMI Default Tags. And I'm going to cheat this again. So I'm going to find my PLC tags. I'm just going to click it once, not twice. Twice will make it maximize to here, and that's not what I want. I want to click it once so it shows them in my details view. And now I should be able to just drag and drop, and boom. Notice how I get no red connections. Notice my connections filled in, my PLC name is filled in. Let me go grab my output, drag that up in there. And now again, if we just come back and look at our devices and networks, notice network connection, other connection. All right. So it automatically made those two connections when I drag those tags in. All right. If you don't drag those tags in, you're going to have to either manually come up here and do this whole add this thing in here. Can I undo this? Let's see how far I can go back. Okay, no, I just deleted the HMI. All right, let me quick put the HMI back in. So remember, if you drag those tags. Now, if you do select your PLC here, all right, notice it puts the interface, it puts the green line between them. I'm just going to click finish to go quick this time. Come back to our devices and network. Notice our connections, there's a green line. Our network, there's a green line. So there's 3 different ways to do this. Way 1 is to select your PLC when you're making your HMI, like I just did. Way 2 is to come to devices and networks at the top of your tree and manually drag and connect them together. Way 3 is to have to basically drag your tags from your PLC to your HMI. All right, so those are your 3 different options. And as I said, I like dragging them because it keeps me from having to make them by themselves. All right, so our PLC has tags and it's been coded correctly. Our HMI has its tags. We haven't coded it, right? We haven't created the screen. All right, so now we're going to go to our screens and our root screen here. All right, we'll add some buttons to this. So we've got 1 button. Again, I'm going to make that my start button. We'll add another button. Make that one my stop button. And then I'm gonna go with a square this time because why not? Go ahead and throw my text in there and call this output. And kind of get that centered, and let's group those for good measure. All right, so I have this. Resizing, what's that do? Yeah, it resizes without moving the text. Hey, I told you to ungroup. Wow, that's wonderful. There we go. All right. So we've got our very simple HMI here. I've got my output. I've got my 2 buttons. Make those bigger to make them a little touch friendly. All right. So now we need to add the events so the buttons actually do something. So you're going to right click on start. And you're going to say properties. If you don't already have this open, you could also click on events directly. And on press, we're going to go with set bit, and I'm going to go with while key press because I think I like that one better. And I'm going to go ahead and put HMI start in. Now, the other thing you will notice, which is really kind of nice, is if you notice there are 2 different tag tables down here. There's the default tag table, HMI start, and then there's also the PLC1 underscore controller tags folder underscore default tag table underscore backslashes, sorry, HMI start. if you were to click on one of these two, it would automatically add that tag to your HMI tags. All right, so I can just click on HMI start there, and then I can do the same thing here. And I'm just going to go with standard set and release on this one, just to, again, show you guys two different options. So we can do a set and we can do a reset. HMI stop. All right, and again, I changed the colors just to, as I wanted to. So fill pattern, I went from vertical gradient to solid, which then allowed me to pick my colors. Go with a nice dark green, solid, and we can make that one like a nice dark red. All right, and again, let's add an animation on the start button here, because why not? We're gonna go. You know what? We're gonna change the visibility this time. All right, so when the start button is pressed, so that would be HMI start, and it is a range from 0 to, or from 1 to 1. So it's pressed. We're going to make the button invisible. Why not? All right, let's go a little crate right here. Then on our output, again, we're going to do those. We're going to do the rectangle. We're going to change, or do a new animation. Oh, not animation, sorry. Appearance. And we're going to go with output. 0, 1. So when we're stopped, we're going to make it a nice bright red, and when we're started, we're going to make it a nice bright green. Notice it didn't change color yet because it doesn't have a value for that tag. All right, we've got our tags created, we've got our colors created, we've got our PLC up and running, as we can see here. So we're going to go ahead and right click on our HMI, and we're going to go start simulation. There we go. We have our HMI started. Now if I click start, it won't let me click start. That's interesting. Let's just start this. Should be started now. Let's go ahead and look up there at our game. Turn our sunglasses on. Oh, I need to turn my stop button on. That might be one of the reasons I'm having issues. Good, Greg. There we go. Let me undo my start button. So now I hit stop. Output does turn off. When I hit start, output does turn on. It didn't make it go invisible, which I'm a little bummed at. I'll have to go look at that to find out why. Now, you will notice if I click on HMI over here, it won't let me do a download or an upload. All right. If I click on a specific screen, it won't let me do a download or an upload. The HMIs are weird. If you guys remember, with the PLCs, we can, if we're online, we can upload or get all the information that is on the PLC and put it onto into the program for us if we, for some odd reason, lost our program. The HMIs, we cannot do that with, and it drives me bonkers. I don't know why we can't do it, but we can't do it. So just something to be aware of. Am I sharing? I don't know what I am sharing. Hold on. Can you guys see my picture in the bottom right-hand corner? The HMI we can't upload from, and I don't know why that is. It's very annoying to me that we can do it on the PLCs, but we can't do it from the HMI, and it all has to do with the coding. I'm sure that it's just how the software works. I think these are running a version of Windows, the HMI screens. Windows CC, I believe, is what it's called, which you'll never actually really see the Windows part of it. You might see it for a brief second, but you'll never really see it. Alt alarms. These are all the buttons that I put in, if you guys remember. If I click this, yep, see, F8 doesn't actually control those. So yeah, and then